He likes to make himself so small. And Chester's over there curled up in the other couch on the blanket. I thought that flute case was a cat for a second. So, hey Dragonlings, welcome to another vlog. Hey pups. Ogre wants loves. You gonna lay down? I don't want your face in mine. You gonna lay down? Now I got Pixel's attention too. No. Okay. Okay, that works. Oh, Pixel is on the bed. Okay. So I wanted to come on here and talk about how yesterday went. So it's Tuesday when I'm filming this now. Tell me how you really feel. And Mondays are admin days, so I probably won't do a lot of filming on Mondays. For the time being. We'll see. I might do like a day in the life vlog one week where I just film on Monday and that's the only day I film, and then I'll edit it and upload it so that I can spend the rest of the week focusing on other things. But this week I'm playing catch up, and that is because last week I was supposed to edit Imagine Overdue, and this week was supposed to be the first week I start on Protect Alone, which are the second and third short stories in the Sultry Solstices short story series. Say that 5 times fast. But I did not end up doing anything writing related last week, whether it was editing or drafting, because I spent all week working on a video that by Saturday turned out to be a waste of time because I was doing it wrong, and so none of my work actually saved. My bad. That's on me. I realize what happened now, and I have learned from my mistakes, but it still sucks that I spent so much time working on this project only for it not to take. So it feels like I would have been better off working on writing related stuff and getting that off the ground. But here we are. This is what's happened, and I'm still working on that video. I'm still working on the notes of that video, trying to get caught up to where I left off. But it's not a big deal. Once I get my notes made, the rest of the video should actually go pretty fast because the notes are for a voiceover. So I don't stumble over my words just because of how long the video is going to be in the end. I wanted to make sure I took notes so I wasn't umming and ahhing all the time. But that's not the point. The point is that I am back to working on writing related things. I am editing Imagine Overdue, which is the second book in the Sultry Solstices short story series. It's going a lot quicker than I thought it would. I have planned to work on it all week, but I'm already more than halfway through it now. There's only 9 chapters plus an epilogue, so 10 chapters technically. And I'm on chapter 6, which means I have the rest of 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I have 4.5 chapters left, basically, before I finish it. And yeah, it's going well. I've had to go back into the first one and add some tidbits because Josephina's the main character of the second one, and she does make an appearance in the first one, plus some things that she mentions in the second one. I was like, does that correlate with what she said in the first one? And I had to double check some stuff, and I tweaked the first one a little bit. But now it is officially done. I am not making any more changes to it. I have already formatted it. Back matter, front matter. The only thing I don't have in it is a dedication, and I wasn't going to dedicate. I don't remember if I had a dedication. I'll have to read back through my copy of Summer Solstice Seduction, because maybe I did have a dedication. I honestly don't remember. I'll have to look. But if I did, I need to translate that dedication over, and otherwise we're good to go. But one of the things I've been thinking about is I don't have any paperbacks out yet. I never did paperbacks for the Damned and Dangerous Quartet. The first 2 books are out in that series. I did purchase the cover for both of those, the paperback cover, but I never got it done, and I don't remember why. And then with Puck's Choice, excuse me, I was supposed to get that done. I contacted the artist about getting that done, and I don't remember where we stand with that process for the paperback cover of Puck's Choice. And I think this is, oh, Dear Satan, I can't remember if I bought a cover for that one or not, like a paperback cover. Both the Damned and Dangerous Quartet and Dear Satan were originally from pre-mades, so I actually purchased the pre-made for the second book in the Damned and Dangerous series. The second book was originally the first book before I added a prequel, and I bought the pre-made cover, asked her if I could keep the title, and that became the title of the story, because I didn't have a title for the story yet. And then I had custom covers made for the prequel as well as the 2 sequels, based around that concept of the pre-made. And then Dear Satan was straight up a pre-made that I purchased. The whole story was written around that cover, actually. Excuse me. All that to say is I don't know what I'm doing where paperbacks are concerned. And as I'm formatting this and I'm looking it over, I am trying to figure out exactly what I want to do, because I am not publishing the short stories themselves as paperbacks, but what my plan is to publish the omnibus as a collection. The only problem with doing that is the fact that in my head, paperbacks for normal novels are going to be 5.5 by 8.5. I don't remember why I ended up choosing that size. I just did, okay? That said, my plan was always to make omnibuses 6 by 9s. And because of the fact that Sultry Solstices is 1 out of 7 short story series, I was in the Serenity universe, I was going to label the omnibuses as like book 1 of the Serenity universe rather than Sultry Solstices omnibus. And I don't know if I do that. I don't want to make them a 6 by 9. Will I still be able to do it? Yes, but it is a lot of work that I don't know if I want. But yeah, that's just something I'm thinking about. I've been yawning a lot because I am tired. It is time for me to go to bed. So I'm going to wrap up this vlog clip here, and I'll chat with you later. Hey Dragonlings, so I realized I forgot to update you this morning when I got home. And I'm about to start my shift at work, and so I figured I'd update you now real quick before I actually go clock in and get started on today's work schedule. But I finished my edit of Imagine Overdue, which is the second book in the Sultry Solstices short story series, and I am pretty proud of it. I did end up changing the epilogue. I did end up changing what Jada is going to be doing. Jada is going to be the main character of the next story, and the epilogue is always from the character's point of view for the next story. I did change up what she's going to be doing in Paris because I was thinking about it, and I'm like, originally she was supposed to be an assistant to, I guess the job title is a curator, someone, basically her boss was supposed to be someone who goes around to different museums and authenticates artifacts and says, yes, this is real and stuff like that. And originally, Jada was supposed to be a character who was an assistant and went along with her boss to be a translator, but I couldn't for the life of me figure out why she would be alone with a statue, a gargoyle statue, and in the middle of the night. Like, I could not foresee why she would have that instant, and I still don't know how I'm going to get her alone in the museum in the middle of the night. I don't think I'm going to, actually. I think I'm going to have to change that part of the story. But I needed a different reason to get her over to France in the first place if I wasn't going to have her just be an assistant. And so I changed up. My original thought when I was coming up with the story idea was that there was going to be two things. Originally, when I came up with this plot line, she was going to be someone who worked in a construction company and was flown overseas to help repair the roof of Notre Dame after the fire. Like, that was the original story idea. And I was like, I don't know if I want to include an actual historical building and put this gargoyle on an actual historical building, knowing the history of the gargoyles that are already on Notre Dame. Which I do know a little bit of the history. Not much, but I do know a little bit of the history and the fact that the gargoyles that are on Notre Dame were like custom made by a specific artist whose name I do not remember off the top of my head. But so I was like, let me not play around with that fact. Because the fact that my gargoyle in this story is supposed to be a man who is cursed. Like, that was the whole point. His lover at the time cursed him. It's like a Beauty and the Beast retelling kind of thing. That's pretty much where the Beauty and the Beast retelling cuts off. But yeah, so I had to figure out a way to get her over there. And my second thought, if she wasn't going to be like brought over as extra help to help rebuild the roof of the museum, I kept playing around with what museum she was going to. Notre Dame is not, I don't believe, is it? It might be, in Paris, France. And then I was like, oh, she can go to the Louvre. I don't know if I want her to go to the Louvre either. I might be making up some random museum in the middle of nowhere, but that's not the point. I was like, what if she's an art student? And she gets a chance to come study some different art. What if, hear me out, what if she gets the chance to come to France to study a specific person's art who, like, their collection has never been viewable by the public, and she had to apply for the scholarship to go over and be one of the few to get to see it for the first time ever. Like, she's never, this woman has been collecting art for many, many moons and has never revealed it, and now it's been like 50 plus years, and now she's ready to reveal it to the public, and she's going to do it like a small private viewing. And Jada got a chance to apply and was accepted as one of the members of this party that gets to go view this artwork. And I was like, oh, I can work with that. And so, like, I rewrote the epilogue based on that information. And it's much shorter than it was before. It's like less than 500 words, which actually, honestly, was roughly where I wanted all the epilogues to be, because I didn't want the epilogues to be very long. And now it's got me thinking, do I want to rework the epilogue of the first book? I don't. The epilogue of the first book, I think, I've thought about rewriting it a couple times. I've thought about changing the scene, and then I was like, no, I like the way it is. And it's almost 2,000 words. So 2,000 words for the epilogue of one story to 500 words for the epilogue of the second story. I might have to beef up the scene of the epilogue in the second story. So I'm going to have to do another pass through of the story. But for now, it is finished, and I'm really proud of where it went. I'm really proud of what I did with it. Basically, with this edit, this is the second time I've edited it. This is draft 4 at this point. No. Yeah, 4. No, we're still in draft 3. 2? I don't know what draft we're on. What I do is, as I will have to do a video about my editing process, my writing and editing process. I don't know what draft we're on, but basically, I wrote the first draft. I completely rewrote it from scratch without ever looking at the first draft because I had a different direction I wanted to go. I didn't like the direction that one went, so I rewrote it this past time. And draft 3, this one I just edited, so yes, draft 3. Draft 3 was like, we returned back to the first original story, and then I just reworked it a little bit. I had too many characters in it originally. I had too much going on as far as plot goes. I had to pull out, I had to kill my darlings as it goes. I had to pull out some plot points and reel back what I was thinking. And I like those ideas, and I will have to use them in another story. It's just, it can't be a short story, or it can't be this short story. I think those plot points need to be their own thing. So that was fun. And now I'm much happier with where it is now with this edit. This edit was pretty much me going through and just tightening everything up, other than the rewrite of the epilogue, which the reason I wrote out the epilogue too was because of the fact that the epilogue I originally had was very like fast-paced and action heavy, but it had the it felt like it was supposed to be a chapter in the next story. So I am keeping that epilogue, but it will be like a chapter in the next story versus the epilogue of this one. So it's not that it's going away completely. It's not. I will continue using it. It's just going to become a chapter instead of the epilogue. So now I'm going to let that one sit for a week, and I'll pick it back up next week to like take another look at it. But I'm going to go ahead and get started tonight during my lunch break. I guess tomorrow. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and the next time I get a chance to sit down and write, I'm going to start working on Protected Alone, which is the third story, which is Jada and Marcel. So I'm really looking forward to that one. It's very much got Gargoyles vibes. If you ever wanted to see, oh, I do not remember characters' names, Goliath and Eliza. If you were ever a fan of Goliath and Eliza, like being a couple, like if you thought we were gypped on that pairing, that's my inspiration for this almost, is that he was cursed by an ex-lover, and Jada is going to break the curse, basically. Unintentionally, but she's going to break it. And yeah, it's going to freak her out because, of course, it's a gargoyle coming up to life as a man. So I'm really looking forward to that one. I'm actually, when I've mentioned it in a couple of vlogs, it's the one I knew the least amount because it was like a shoo-in for originally a different story that I had to take out because of how spicy it got, and that's going to become the first book in another series in this world. Because if you didn't know, the Sultry Solstices series is the first of 7 series, and all 7 series take place in the same universe, and it's going to be called the Sevenity universe. And yeah, I'm in the end, there's going to be like 49 short stories. So I'm both looking forward to it, and I'm not at the same time, because I'm like, that's a lot of work. But I'm thinking, 2 things I'm thinking. The first is that the plot points I had to pull out of Imagine Overdue are going to be saved for another story within this universe. I'm really actually hoping for that. I think that would be such a cool idea. Otherwise, it might have to go into another standalone story of a different sort. And then the other thing is that this story that I'm writing now, the Gargoyle one, is the one I knew the least amount for, but now I'm actually really looking forward to it as I'm starting to figure out where I'm going with it, and I cannot wait to see where it goes. And I'm not gonna lie, I in my heart, in the heart of hearts, I would love to get that finished by this weekend. With only 3 days left in this week, I don't think it's going to happen. I would have to write 5,000 words a day for that to happen, and I only write during my lunch break, so it's not gonna happen. I can dream, but it'll definitely be done by next week. So I'm happy about that. So yeah, that's where we stand. I'm gonna go ahead and go clock into work. I'm probably clocking in a little late, and that's okay. And yeah, I'll see you all in my next update. Sorry for the weird camera angle, but I figured I would come on here and do like a little PSA kind of thing. And that is the fact that I wanted to update you guys on the fact that I have unintentionally, I had time earlier because I took my kid to archery, and usually during that time I read, and this time I just didn't feel like reading. Mostly because I had a YouTube video that I needed to edit, and I managed to get it edited and uploaded, and it was a video that I originally didn't have planned for today. And that made me start thinking about my video schedule. Part of the reason I took a hiatus in December is because I want to get more consistent about making sure I've got content coming out each week for my YouTube channel, whether it's a vlog, live stream, video. In a perfect world, I want all 3. I want a vlog, a video, and a live stream. That is the perfect scenario kind of thing. But as long as I do one of those things, 2 of those things actually, as long as I do 2 of those things, I am happy. And one of the things I wanted, that I was I know this will be the thing for me. I love doing sit-down chatty videos. I love doing vlogs. Vlogs are much easier for me to edit because I don't trim out as much, and I don't have to refilm, and I don't have to do the editing Skye thing. But because vlogs are just stream of consciousness, this is what I'm thinking right now, what I'm doing now. Whereas sit-down videos, I am picking a particular topic and just chatting about it for a little bit. And there's more pre-thinking done for a sit-down video, I guess. Whereas this is me just talking off the cuff and out of my ass kind of thing. That's the difference. So one of the reasons I took a hiatus in December is because I was like, I want to put out a video a week in the year of 2026. And so far I've stuck to that. Like, I have had a video come out, but it's been like down to the wire. Like, even today, it's Thursday. My video drops on Thursday. And I was editing this video and trying to get it up. I was editing this video while at archery with my youngest on Wednesday. And then it's easier for me to upload videos at work. So I came into work a little early so I could use the Wi-Fi and upload the video before my shift started. So I got that knocked out. But like, it's down to the wire. My video comes out Thursday morning at 10 a.m. and I'm sitting here Wednesday night, Thursday morning, trying to upload it to YouTube. And that's been the way that's the way it's been since the start of the year, is that I'm so close to that wire. Sometimes to the fact where I'm like even editing it until like I leave, like I'm editing it on my shift at work so that it can get posted on time. And some videos require more editing, some videos are longer, so that's part of the problem too, is that I didn't put into consideration like how much time it takes to edit certain videos. Like, I have a video I'm still working on. I've been working on it for a while now, a couple weeks, and I'm still not done with it. And I'm just taking notes on it currently. Now, and that was a video I knew was going to be a long one because it is a video talking about all the books I read in 2025. So like, I knew that one was going to be long. But it's still taking me forever to just jot notes so I can make sure when I do the voiceover, I cover everything I want to cover. So yeah, that's a thing. But when I finished editing the video, while it was doing its final checks and stuff from iMovie and exporting, that's the word I'm looking for. While I was exporting, I was like taking a look at my Notion and my schedule for the rest of the year. And in Notion, when you are on a calendar page, it will have a thing at the top that says no date. And I had a bunch of videos. Listed there. A lot of them were video ideas that were originally supposed to be posted last year, that if you've been on my channel for a while, you know that I had originally planned on like posting a video a week last year. Same thing I'm doing this year. This year it's going to happen. But last year I hit a point where like, it was one of those cases where I missed a week and then I was just like, well, screw it, I'm just not going to do it. And I just stopped. And there was both good reasons and bad reasons why. We're not going to get into them because that's not the point of this video. The point I'm trying to make is the fact that I unintentionally but intentionally may have planned most of my video content for the rest of this year. Will some stuff move around? Absolutely. Is there some opening still? Absolutely. But I was able to fill in a lot of spaces with a lot of the videos that were originally supposed to come out last year. Now, do I still have a lot of work to do with these videos? Absolutely, because what I've got to do now is I've got to go through all those videos and script them, because most of them were just like a title. There was nothing to them because I hadn't done the work. I literally just said a title for like an idea for a video, or if it was like a response video, I've got a link to the original video I was trying to respond to. Things like that. So now I get to go through and start scripting videos, editing, filming, editing, and uploading. And maybe with all of them scripted, I will be able to, what's the word I'm looking for? Maybe with all of them scripted, I will be able to catch up and get ahead, which is the plan. Because like I want to take a hiatus in July, August for my move. I don't know when exactly we're moving, so I'm saying July, August until we get closer and we have an exact date. And then in December, I want to take another hiatus, but December, I also wanted to participate in VDID, Vlog Every Day in December, so I've got to figure that out. I wanted a video to come out every day in December, which means I need to pre-plan and pre-film and pre-edit, pre-schedule those. It's a lot of videos. It's 31 videos. They're not going to be very long. They're going to be shorter videos. I'd already planned on them being shorter videos. But yeah, that's something I've got to do. But now I've got everything mapped out for the most part. Again, not all of them, just a lot of them. And if anyone comes to me and says, hey, can you do a video about this? I'll be like, absolutely, and figure out where to put it. Like, I love it when people come to me and said, hey, can you do a video about this? Are there some things that will pop up in vlogs as well? Again, absolutely. Some things will just get talked about in vlogs like this. And you'll get stream of consciousness kind of chit-chat about it. Or it'll be discussion during a live stream. I had lots of plans with live streams too, things that I wanted to do that I just haven't happened yet. But all that to say, I'm not as worried anymore, like the anxiety that I had that I've been having lately about like, oh, I've got to get ahead, I've got to get caught up. It's most of it's now gone. I'm very much the kind of person that I at least need some semblance of a plan for my anxiety to go away. Do those plans work out? 90% of the time, absolutely not. They do not. 90% of the time, they fall to pieces, and I have to make plan B, plan C, plan D, all the way to Z. But having the initial idea of a plan in place is so much better for my brain, and now I can actually get some work done, which is what I'm going to go do now. My sprint's probably almost over, so I've got to go finish up what I was doing so I can get some stuff done. But I thought I'd let you guys know that because I thought you guys would appreciate that. Apologies for the weird angle. I've got you, like, propped up against my laptop screen because I wanted to film this real quick because I have a question for everyone. I have a legit question. And I'm not mad. I'm confused. Like, very confused. I don't know why I had to preface that with I'm not mad. I'm just very confused. So, yesterday, day before yesterday, recently within this week, I got an email. And there's nothing bad about the email. But this is the second time I've gotten an email. And the first time, I have to preface this by saying, to explain about the first one. Because I think it might make the second one make a little bit more sense and what I've discovered since getting the second one. So, the first time I got an email, these two emails are from different people, by the way. Let me start with that. The first time I got an email, I read it, I was like, okay, this is cool information to learn. And I just moved on. Didn't think anything of it. But this is the second time I've got an email, and they're both from YouTubers with larger channels, much larger than mine at least. And what I realized when I was reading the second one again, the basic information of the email is like, okay, cool. I don't understand why I got this email, but cool. And then they added a tidbit on the end that made me realize that they were replying to one of my comments that I left on their videos. I don't leave a lot of comments these days. I'm trying to get better about it, but the problem is that I watch YouTube videos, and watch is a loose term, I usually listen to them, while I'm at work. I have subscribed to a bunch of people, plus I go through my home feed and just randomly add videos to my watch later list. Because what I do when I'm at work is I just turn on my watch later list, and I put my phone on my cart while I'm cleaning, and let it play, and I listen to it like a podcast. So that's what I tend to do with YouTube videos these days, unless it's like a tutorial or like someone's doing a planner thing where they're like showing off stuff. And even then, what I'll do is I'll skip that particular video and come back and watch it later, like during my lunch break if I can. I usually can't. I usually watch them like when I get home while I'm eating food, kind of thing, before I go to bed. For those who don't know, I work nights. So I'm by myself and I can get away with this. Anyways, my point is that I don't leave a lot of comments on stuff, but I'm trying to get better about leaving comments. And what I realized with this second email, thanks to that very little bit tidbit at the very end of the email, like past their signature kind of tidbit, is that they were replying to my comment that I left on their video via email. And the reason I'm confused is like, in order to do that, you had to do one of two things. You had to either go to my profile, and I don't even remember if my email address is listed in my like about section on my profile. Which means if it isn't, it might be. I haven't checked. If it isn't though, that means you had to go to one of my videos and go to the description and read through it, because I know that my email address is on those. I have my email address on every description of every video I've ever posted. But that just seems, to me, that seems like a lot of work when all you had to do was reply to the comment directly. And that's why I'm confused. Like, why not just reply to the comment directly? Is there like a character limit on YouTube comments now that I don't know about? The first one, now that I'm realizing that they were replying to comments, the first one, it does make sense. It was a really lengthy reply to my comment. But, like, were they emailed me because they didn't want that to be public knowledge, but they were like, you asked, so I'm going to specifically tell you kind of thing. I'm like, I'm just confused and conflicted. And I'm not conflicted in like a bad way. I'm like, that seems like a lot of work to me when you could just hit reply to the comment itself and leave the reply directly to the comment. And is this normal? Am I doing something wrong because I reply to every comment I get? It may take me a bit, but I reply to every single comment, even if it's just with an emoji. Like, is this normal? Am I crazy? Am I the weird one because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing apparently? I'm just confused. Can you guys explain this to me? Not explain it to me, but like, tell me if this is normal. And like, would you do that? Like, is that how you reply to comments? Do you email them directly and reply to their comment via email? Again, I'm not mad about it. But like the first time I got an email like that, I didn't reply back even though a question was asked. Because I was like, I don't know how to respond to this. And even now, I've read back through this email a couple times with this current one, and I'm like, I don't know how to respond to this. And I don't know if it's normal to respond to something like that. Like, I love talking to people. Email me all day long. It's just that I'm confused about why the conversation was taken off YouTube. Because these aren't emails that are like the email notification from YouTube saying that someone replied to your comment. No, these are direct emails from person to me. Like, I'm just confused. I need someone to explain it to me, please. Make me believe that I'm not just going totally insane. Because it's like, in a way, it's like one of those fangirl moments. They're like, oh my god, they thought I was important enough to email me. It's a great moment. But at the same time, I'm just, again, very confused. Like, what? So, but in other news, I am extremely tired. I'm about to go to bed. I'm going to go check and see if the dogs need to go outside, and I'm going to go to bed because I'm fucking tired. Yesterday was a long day, and I knew it was going to be because I had a dentist appointment scheduled for the morning. Not even like early morning. It was like mid-morning. But now I've got 3 other dentist appointments scheduled. 2 of them are for like serious deep cleans because I was diagnosed with a condition I was pretty certain I already had, but it was like confirmed yesterday. Plus, I have some fucked up teeth. I know I have some fucked up teeth. We have a lot of work to do on mine. I've been so focused on getting the kids seen and caught up on dental stuff. I've been so focused on getting the hubs caught up on dental stuff. She asked me yesterday, she was like, when was the last time you actually went to a dentist to have your teeth cleaned? And I was like, I don't know. She was like, is it safe to say it's been over 5 years? And I was like, absolutely fucking yes it is. I was like, I have now lived up here for 5 years, and I've been to this dentist office for myself twice, and both times were to have teeth pulled. And she was like, what? And I was like, you should have the x-rays. I was like, the first time I came in, I had my wisdom teeth plus a bunch of extra teeth pulled. That day I had a total of like 8 teeth pulled because my bottom 2 wisdom teeth were growing angled forward and they were crushing the teeth in front of them. And then the wisdom tooth on this side, there was actually 2 other baby teeth growing. Baby teeth. Not baby teeth as in like children's baby teeth, but I mean like itty bitty little things that were popping out of the skin. So there was 2 other teeth growing underneath the wisdom tooth. So the wisdom tooth itself was getting crushed because of the teeth under it. I don't pretend to understand that. And so she was like comparing my x-rays actually from all my visits. And I was like, yeah, and I was only here a couple months ago. This appointment was scheduled after I had a more recent tooth pulled. And so she was like comparing all my x-rays, and she was like, oh yeah. And she was like, you had all your wisdom teeth pulled. And I was like, yeah. And she was like, so what's this one? And she was pointing at the x-ray, and I was like, that's one they said was a molar. And she was like, but it's angled like a wisdom tooth. In fact, actually, if I didn't know any better, I would call it a wisdom tooth. And I was like, I don't know what to tell you. And she's like, we're going to call it a wisdom tooth. And I was like, I mean, you can call it whatever you want to. She was like, this one we're going to have to keep an eye on because we might have to pull it. And I'm like, okay. Because apparently that molar that they left after they pulled my wisdom teeth has shifted, but instead of like just shifting forward, it has turned like the wisdom tooth did. So it's now angled. It's fantastic. But all that to say, yesterday was a very long day because that appointment took like an hour, and now I have three dental appointments. Hold on, I'm gonna look at these cards. Cleaning. They have to do a deep clean because of the problems with my teeth. They have to clean and deep into the tissue, the gum tissue. And then I have a filling because apparently one of my fillings came out. She was looking, while she was comparing the x-rays, she was like, you did have a filling here. And I was like, she was pointing it out to me. And I was like, yeah, it looks like. And she's like, it's not here now. And I'm like, oh, what to do? Grow legs and walk away? I didn't say that out loud. I wanted to. So yeah, I'm getting a filling done. I've got appointments, 2 in March. The 2 in March, one's on my birthday. But they're a week apart. And then I have the 1 in April for the filling. I was like, let's just clean my teeth first, then we'll get the filling done. She was like, that sounds like a plan. But yeah, great stuff. Dental work is fantastic. And for those who are curious, like, I've had all these teeth pulled. I'm very much the kind of person, I can't afford dental work. I mean, we talked about the fact that it's been well over 5 years, probably closer to 10, since I actually had my teeth cleaned professionally by a dentist. Because the only time I've gone to the dentist is to have teeth pulled. I will go into the dentist with the tooth pain, and they're like, yep, this tooth's infected. We have 2 options. And I'm like, if you say root canal, the answer is pull it out. Because I don't know what it is now, but the first couple of times I had a tooth pulled, I didn't have medical insurance. So I was asking questions because I'd never had a tooth pulled before. And I didn't know a lot of stuff. And I didn't know a lot of stuff about the other options they gave me. And they were like, wait, well, you can do a root canal. I'm like, okay. 2 questions with that. I was like, is that going to be painful, and will that actually fix the problem? They were like, yes, it'll fix the problem, but, and I was like, stop right there. So if you don't know, a root canal, I'm not going to describe what it is because I don't remember off the top of my head, but even if you do a root canal, there can still be problems later because they leave the tooth. And I was like, just pull that bad boy out. But here's my second question. How much is it going to cost? And at the time, with insurance, if I had just recently lost my insurance, and they were like, well, if you have insurance, it's going to cost about this much. And I'm like, the answer is automatically no, and always will be no. Can we put a note in my chart that says I will never need this, because there's no point in asking. I can't afford a fucking root canal even if I wanted one, and I've heard too many horror stories to want one, honestly. All that being said, my other option was to have the tooth pulled. If you are paying by cash, at the time, this was many, many moons ago. I don't know what it is now. But at the time, a tooth being pulled was like $240. So $240 versus $5,000 with insurance. That's after insurance covers their half. So I can either pay $240 cash with no insurance, or $5,000 with insurance, and still possibly have problems later. I think my choice was easy. So yeah, I don't know why I was talking about getting tooth pulled. Oh, because the only time I've been to the dentist in like the past decade has been to have teeth pulled, and that's it. That's all, because I can't afford it. I can't afford the dentist, guys. Dental work is expensive. Cleanings are not that expensive, but consistently taking care of yourself, it's hard. Being an adult is hard. So, I just burped up lava cake. I'm so sorry. Anyways, yeah, that's my update. I don't know if I'm going to update you guys again. If I do, you'll see that clip. If I don't, well, have a good week, Dragonlings. I hope you have a great weekend. I'm still living. I'm still alive. I'm still in the land of living. We should be happy about that. Alright, goodbye. Look at that, Dragonlings. For once, I can actually film while there's some daylight, because it's now starting to get daylight earlier in the morning. I just got off work and home from work. It's 7:30ish in the morning. I got off work late. Not surprising with everything that's going on. But I wanted to wrap up this vlog real quick because it's been a long week. I feel like every time I've talked to you this week, I have been so super tired. And I don't know why I keep filming when I'm super tired. That was like the worst thing to do. So apologies for every yawn, how like tired I look. Like I had other times I could have vlogged and I just chose not to. And I just, I was editing the vlog footage last night. I was like, I look dead to the world. And the funny thing is that most of the week I didn't feel dead to the world until I started vlogging. And I don't know what's causing that, because I'm getting enough sleep. Thursday being the only exception because of the dentist appointment. And even Thursday, once we got home, I took a nap and I got plenty of sleep. It's just that I like to be awake and present with the family in the afternoon, and I wasn't, because I was awake and present during the day. And then of course, because of the dentist appointment, my sleep was broken up. So I got a lot of little naps versus straight hours of sleep. But that was the only exception. Otherwise, this week, I have gotten plenty of sleep. But I've just been so dang tired. And I know what some of it is. And it's just the state of our world right now. And the hopelessness I feel about some things. And the hope I feel about others. So, like, I get it. It's definitely depression. It's definitely anxiety. It's definitely, like, fear. Oh, it's a magpie. Been a while. It's also the fact that it's been dark so often during the winter months, and now we're starting to get the light again. Like, I leave when it gets to the point, I work nights, and when it gets to the point where it's dark when I leave and it's dark when I get home, it does start to affect my mood. And it does start to affect, I don't think I have seasonal depression, but maybe I do, because it definitely feels like when the sun is not up and I don't get at least some kind of daylight. I joke around every once in a while and say that I'm a vampire because of the fact that I work nights. And some days that feels accurate. But, like, I feel like I do need the sunlight. I do need to have daylight. Just like any other normal human being. As much as I dislike the sun. Oh, I was able to stop that yawn. I'm sorry. But maybe that's part of it too. I don't know. All I know is that this week has actually been fairly productive, just not in the ways I would have originally thought. And I've just came and talked to you guys when I'm like so tired that I look and feel dead to the world. So I don't know how much of what I said. I mean, I do know because I rewatched the clips as I was like editing. But, like, I don't know how much of what I said is actually clear. So feel free to ask questions if anything didn't make sense. Because I'm sure some of it made sense to me, but I'm also the one who said it. And, of course, it's going to make sense to me because I said it. But if there's anything I said that you're just like, what? Feel free to let me know. But the highlights for this week, because that's the main thing I wanted to do with this wrap up. The highlights for this week is that I finished editing the third draft of Imagined Overdue, which is the second story in the Sultry Solstices short story series. I have come up with a new plot, kind of. It's not actually a new plot. It's a new profession for my main character in the third one, which is called Protected Alone. I have gotten a couple of videos done. My vlog, except for this clip, is done. Like, I have finished editing my vlog, minus this clip. So, I'll be able to get this clip edited, and I'll be able to export my video and get it ready for upload this weekend, long before my stream tonight. And which means I can continue working on other YouTube videos during my stream tonight, because I want Saturdays to be vlog editing days. And so that's exciting. I might actually be able to get ahead in videos, which is where I wanted to be from the get-go. I got general ideas of video content I want to do for most of the year already plotted out, which is really cool. Oh, excuse me. Like, all things considered, it's been a very productive week, which also might be part of the reason I'm tired. But, like, there are things that have fallen by the wayside. I have daily tasks that I think I've mentioned in a couple of different videos now, where I was like, these things are like necessities. They have to be done. Journaling, tarot card pull, and like stuff like that. And that stuff is not getting done as often as it should be. So I gotta figure that out. But I think it's a matter of like time management. I when I get home from work, I do on a normal basis. When I get home from work, there's two things that happen. First, I make breakfast for myself because I got about an hour to kill before I've got to make sure the kids are up and moving. Usually, they're pretty good about getting themselves up and moving, and all I got to do is worry about staying up so I can take them down to the bus stop. So that's not a huge deal, but which means I have time to myself to do stuff. And what I've been doing is using that time to edit videos, edit vlog footage. Fantastic. I want to keep doing that. And then I have about 30-ish minutes before Justin gets up to leave for work after the kids are at the bus stop and gone and I'm back at the house. So again, I'm using that time to edit videos and vlog clips. Again, fine. But that means that by the time I'm done doing all of that stuff and Justin's gone to work and the kids are off to school, I just want to go to bed at that point. And I still have all the like morning routine stuff, or for me, evening routine stuff that I want to do, such as tarot card pull, oracle card pull, reading I've been doing at work, so I'm not that worried about that. But like the daily journaling that I want to do, all that stuff that I want to do, I haven't been getting done. I think the only thing that's been happening in my journal is like my daily to-do list, which I haven't even been marking off. I've been writing it down and that's it. It's been like a brain dump of things I want to get done and then nothing. So it's not that nothing's getting done from said list. It's just that I never look at it again. So I don't know what's getting done and what's not getting done. That's the thing. But yeah, I just need to work on figuring out my time management. I need to figure out maybe the journaling thing is especially the one I think needs to start happening on a daily basis, because I can go months without doing a tarot or oracle card pull. But the daily journaling helps me regulate my moods, helps me figure out what I'm feeling, helps me work through my emotions and stuff. And so, like, I do need to be doing that one on a daily basis, especially since I can't afford therapy. Just saying. Not everyone can afford to go to therapy, and I certainly can't. Between me and my husband, and the fact that we have health insurance that does not cover diddly squat. It's actually pretty good health insurance, don't get me wrong. But it will not cover enough of a therapy session for me to be able to afford a therapy session, and we make too much for me to use any like aid assistance. So therapy is out of the question at the moment, and because of that, journaling is my therapy session. And I haven't been doing it. I fell off the wagon around middle of the month. It's now the end of the month. Today's the 31st. 30th. Today's 30th. 31st? 30th? It's one of the two. I don't know. My point is that there are things that should be getting done and aren't getting done. And I've got to figure out how I can get them done. And I think the solution as far as like journaling goes is my journal stays at my computer desk, my current computer desk, which is in my bedroom. And I don't like to go in my bedroom until it's time for Justin to get up, because that'll wake the dogs and they'll want to get out of the room and they'll wake him up. And he's still got like 30 minutes to sleep. And I don't want to wake him up 30 minutes early. So I think what I need to do is I think my journaling supplies needs to be moved to the kitchen, because that's where I do a lot of stuff. But I don't want it in the kitchen. So I've got to figure that out. I've got to figure that out. Because the journaling especially is something that needs to start happening. So I don't know what the solution is yet, but basically time management. I need to figure out my time management better so I can make sure different things are getting done. But yeah, otherwise it's been a productive week. It's been a really good week. It's been busy, but not like terribly busy. Nothing I couldn't handle. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up here, and I will see you all in next week's vlog. Bye, Dragonlings.